Hi, it's Chris. Today we're going to show you how to change the gasket on the refrigerator door. It's a fairly straightforward process, it only requires a few tools, and we'll take you through it step by step. So to change this gasket, typically they come in a box, and this one's fairly straightforward, nice and square. A lot of them will come in, they're kind of bent or twisted around, and you'll need to want to straighten them out before you start to do the repair. A couple of ways you can do that is just, you can put the gasket in your clothes dryer without anything else in there, just run it for a few minutes on heat, and it'll make it nice and soft and pliable, so it'll take the shape that you need it to be to go on the door. The other option is you can even take it a day before that you're going to do the change and actually just stick it right onto the fridge itself. The magnets will hold it into position, and that'll allow it to warm up over that 24 hours before you go to install it. It just makes it easier to install. Otherwise, we're just going to set it aside and then remove this door and put it up on a surface so that we can change the gasket. So we're just going to remove the door bins from inside the door before we remove it. By now you already have your product off of it. And we'll set these to one side. With those out of the way, we're going to work towards removing your hinge cover and your hinge. It's going to take about 30 minutes to change the door gasket. So at this point, you can decide whether you're going to remove all the product from your fridge and turn it off, or just leave it run, and everything will stay cool. You'll get the beeping from the fridge saying your door is open, but if we're fairly quick, then it won't be too bad to do. So now we'll go and remove this hinge cover. Just close our door. The 1/4 inch nut driver. I'm just going to remove this one screw and remove the cover. That gives us access to the 3 screws for the hinge, and we're just going to loosen those. And once they're loose, now we can just go through all 3 and take them right out. Just before we take the last screw out, just put your hand on the door. The gasket's going to hold the door closed, but just put your hand on it, so that little bit of extra caution. And remove the screw and lift the hinge off. And we should be good to remove the door. Just simply open the door part way and lift it straight off the hinge. Now that we have the door on a work surface that's easy to get at, we're just going to basically start to remove the gasket itself. This gasket's a little unique in the way it's attached. It's actually sandwiched between the metal door and the plastic door liner. And they foam that liner right in place, so it makes all 3 parts become one. So what we have to do here is basically apply a fair bit of force and forcibly pull that gasket out from in between the liner and the door. So you just want to get your fingers in there and pull quite firmly. It takes a fair bit of effort, but you'll start to feel it come, and you'll actually hear the foam starting to let go. And you just pull it out till you get it free, and you'll see you'll get little bits of foam coming out, and don't worry about that any. This is your old gasket, it's going to be disposed of. So just continue to work that along, applying that pressure and pulling that gasket out. And we're just going to do that all the way around the door until it's completely released, and we'll set it to one side. So now the gasket's free and clear. Just going to take it and set it to one side, and then we're going to get a putty knife. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is take just a basic putty knife, and what we want to do is basically put the putty knife into the area where the gasket was being held, and just push your putty knife along, clearing that channel of any foam that may still be in there. Clearing this foam away makes it easier to install the new gasket, and we'll just continue to do that all the way around. So I'm just going to take the new gasket and lay it on the door, and I'll point out a couple things to keep in mind. Because this gasket can go either way, there is a right way. And the right way is, when you look at your gasket, you'll see it has this extra flap. This always goes on the handle side of your fridge door. So as long as you remember that, you'll be all set to continue on with your installation. To start with, we're going to want to try and work the gasket under a corner first. So starting from this corner, we'll want to insert the gasket. Now your old gasket had just a flat piece of rubber that slid in between. You saw that when we removed it. This gasket is different. So I'm just going to roll the gasket over so you can see the difference between this one and your original. Your original gasket basically had a strip of rubber along this edge that we pulled out. This new replacement gasket has that same edge as well as another lip on the inside. That lip is what actually locks it into place, and it locks it into this groove here. Okay, so seeing that, it'll make it easier to understand what our goal is now to install this. So we'll set the gasket into place, and we're going to want to take this edge, peel it back, and put it under the corner. And we're going to do it so it's out here a bit, and then we'll slide it into place once we have it started. So now I have it started, and I'm just going to slide the gasket over, and I'll start this side of the corner and install it as well. Just rolling that lip in between. Now that I have it started in both sides, I just continue to work it in, and the corner's taken care of. So now all we have to do is just continue with our thumbs, just pushing that gasket into place. You can flip the edge over and take a look just so that you know it's into place, and then continue on. And we're going to just do this all the way along, just easing that edge underneath. You'll feel it slipping into place. And we'll do that right down till we get to the next corner. At the next corner, we'll do the exact same process. We'll put this in underneath, and you may find it of some help to actually take your putty knife and just slide it up under so you're able to elevate that corner a little bit to get it started. Again, just taking your thumbs and pushing it into place. And now we're just going to slide the gasket corner into position. And we'll come back and work our channel. And again, same process. We just turn our door so we can get at the next side. Again, pushing our gasket into place. When we come up to the corner, again, we'll want to start the other side. Again, you may need a little assistance with your putty knife. So just working that last piece in and settling the corner, and your gasket's installed. The door is ready to go back on the fridge. Okay, so now we're ready to install the door. Just got to point out where the hinge pin hole is, and that's what we want to line up on this pin on our hinge. Just lower it into place. Swing our door closed. And we're ready to put the hinge back on. Same process we used to remove it. Just slide it down into place and put your screws back in. Bring your screws down till they're almost snug. Then we'll straighten the door and finish securing them. Snug all 3 screws nice and tight. Once we have them tightened, we'll install the hinge cover, install our door bins, put your product back in your fridge, and your repair is complete.